Good morning. Happy Friday. I am live. And I'm a different spot today, as you can see. I have a different background behind me. It's actually just a different wall. I'm on my relaxation chair. And it is Friday here in Moosham. As you can see, I'm wearing green. So it's International Day at School. So I'm going to be manning the Irish table. So I had to turn out in green. So that's hence why I'm wearing my green t-shirt today. And also why I'm sitting on my comfy chair, because I'm going to be standing for many hours this afternoon. So I thought it would be a great idea to just chill this morning and take it easy, because it's going to be boiling hot. I'm going to be standing there for many hours. And I just know that this morning I really, really need to take it easy. Now, I can just see some eyes joining me, which is brilliant. Say good morning if you're joining me here this morning. My share this morning is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a bit more vulnerable than usual, because this morning's topic is how to be effective on social media without having to dedicate your life to it, even if you're weary. Now, I'm not going to come on here this morning and give you templates and loads of strategies, and tell you how to create more content on social media, because I believe that that is not the solution to, of course they help, but being more effective in social media with templates is not really the answer. And my share this morning is different because I really struggled to get visible on social media. It was really painful. I'll be very, very honest. And it didn't really start with social media. It started a lot longer, many years ago, really, if I'm honest. When you all know I worked in manufacturing and I became an image consultant. And then for the first time, I had to start becoming visible. And that time it was more about standing up in front of an audience of people, and talking to the audience of people and showing them, a color demonstration, etc. And I found it so hard. I mean, I used to get sick before I had to put in an appearance. I listened to every kind of, that time it was like tapes that I ordered on the internet. I talked to everyone I could to try and get more comfortable with presenting myself. And I just found it really, really difficult. And eventually, I kind of got better at it and it became easier. I mean, I still was very, very nervous every single time I did it, but I got better at doing it. And things were going really, really well because I kind of had a system established there. But then when I came back into the business around 2017, it was a whole different business and there was a whole different requirement to get visible online. And it was like going back to the start again. It was like starting all over again. And it was even more nerve-wracking to go and be visible on social media, because our families are on social media, our peers are on social media, all our ex-colleagues are on social media, our friends, the people we grew up with, are on social media. So I think it's even harder to get visible on social media and be effective on social media than it is in terms of standing up in front of a room of people. So I had a whole thing prepared for this morning, and I decided, no, that's not really going to get you the solution that you need. And I want to take you back to the start, because I think, the problem is not a strategy. We've all taken courses where, we have been given a strategy, we've been told what we need to post, we know what to post, but we're still not, building relationships, getting kind of clients, which is how I measure being effective on social media, is because at the end of the day, none of us would be on social media probably if we weren't trying to get clients. So why we're on there to begin with is to get clients. And I think that for a long time, I turned up on social media through sheer willpower and fear, the fear of not getting clients. And that gets you so far, really, it does. But then what you find is you've only so much willpower. There's only so many times you'll turn up around willpower, and then it starts to fail you. It drains your energy, and you find, look, I just can't face it. I just can't turn up anymore. And I definitely have been in that place several times. I won't lie. I just found, well, I have nothing more to give. My energy is gone. I am drained. I can't really do this anymore. And I think when I look at my clients, this is what's happening. When I look at you guys, this is what's happening. It's the same thing that happened to me. We just run out of willpower. We run out of energy. We run out of, steam, because we are fighting a very, very basic instinct within us. And that basic instinct within us is to stay safe and to stay part of a community, and to stay part of our family, and to stay part of, our peer group. So I want to take you kind of right back to the start, because this story is relevant to the work that I had to do. And I think that all of you have to do, if you haven't done already, so that you can, stay consistent on social media and be effective on social media. And you can't be effective on social media if you're not consistent. And to be consistent, you need to develop a level of ease and grace. And that's not going to probably happen by, following templates or, following strategies that all these media people are giving you. So my talk this morning is a little bit different. The direction that I'm taking on my business is a little bit different, because I feel you need more. You need more than strategy. You need to look at other aspects that are really important as well. You can call it mindset, you can call it spirituality, you can call it your connection with the universe or the divine or with God. You can call it whatever you want. But I think, to be consistent and to turn up with ease and grace, you need to address some basic fear and basic primitive drive within us all before we can go any further. So let me explain what I mean by that through my story. So I grew up in a tiny rural village in the south of Ireland, in a place called Limerick. And when I was 6 years old, my family moved to another part of Limerick. My dad bought a farm, and we moved to another part of Limerick. And basically, I feel quite nervous and vulnerable telling this story, butterflies in my stomach, but I think it's the story that needs to be told, because all of you will probably identify with some part of this story. I think if you're procrastinating around turning up on social media, there's a part of this story that will resonate with you. So if there is a part of this story that resonates with you, please do comment and say that it resonates with you. So we moved when I was about 6 years old, to this new part of Limerick. And we were always considered blow-ins. We were always considered different to the people around us, or at least that was our perception. And I often heard my mom and dad talking about the fact that, we didn't really fit in, we were different. We were kind of seen as a disruption, I think, as well within the community, because, we were big farmers, and my dad was quite ambitious, and there was a whole load of us. There was 11 kids. There wasn't initially, but eventually there was 11 kids. So that's the environment I was brought up on. very traditional Irish Catholic family. And I learned from an early age, that it was all about work ethic, and following the rules, and being obedient to my parents and to be as helpful as possible. It definitely wasn't about shining or individuality or standing up and saying how brilliant you were at anything. That was seriously frowned upon. Your children were to be seen and not heard, kind of thing. That was kind of the mentality I was brought up in. And I'm talking about a tiny village in rural Ireland, but I'm sure it is the same in all over the world. So I went to school, and I actually loved school. I was quite extroverted. I loved school. I loved my friends, and I got on really well with the teachers, I'll be honest. So I got to sixth year. I think it's sixth year. It was sixth year or sixth form. I get all confused now because we're in the British system here and we were in the system in Singapore. But I think it's called sixth class. Maybe it was sixth class or sixth year. Sixth year, I think. It's in secondary school, so it was sixth year. Anyway, I was graduating from secondary school, and there was an award at that time for graduating from secondary school, and the award was called Student of the Year, and this was awarded by the students of the final year and by the teachers, for the person who was most likable and who was most likely to succeed, whatever that meant. So I actually ended up winning that award, and it was announced at the final year assembly, and that was held as an evening event. And during that time, remember, my dad was a farmer, and we were at home, and they were cutting silage, and they were out in the fields. And the thought of him having to go to this event, to turn up at this event, he really didn't want to do it. He didn't think it was important. He didn't think it was where his focus should be. And it was a bit of a nuisance, to be honest. It was a bit of a nuisance for him that he had to leave this important work at home, drive to the school, and attend this graduation ceremony. And I think the teachers had insisted that he attend. I mean, my mum must have attended as well, but I can't imagine. I can't really remember that. And anyway, he went against his will. I knew nothing about the fact that I was going to be, awarded the Student of the Year. So that was announced during the event. And I remember at the time, so we turned up at the event. I remember at the time feeling, oh my God, whoever gets that, it's amazing. Anyway, my name was announced that I got the Student of the Year. And initially I was overjoyed, and I was full of pride, and I was so happy. But very, very quickly that turned to fear and shame, and because I was required to stand up and give a speech. I was required to stand up and say, a few words to say how happy I was to get the award, obviously. And it ended up that I was just terrified. I was terrified. First of all, my dad didn't even want to be there. And now I had to stand up and talk about this award that meant nothing to him, and I just felt a lot of fear and shame. So when I got up to the stand, instead of making a few words, what I actually did was I cried. I got up there and I cried. And I remember just thinking, oh my God, I've added even more shame already to whatever I had done. And I remember afterwards, never being congratulated. My dad didn't congratulate me. My mom didn't congratulate me. All I ever remember feeling was just utter shame and embarrassment, and how could I have done that? And how could I have stepped outside of, the family rules to just shame the whole family with that kind of a display? And I really got no pleasure in that getting that award at all. And it just felt shameful and wrong and horrible. And that, while I buried that story, somewhere along the way, I buried that story and I didn't really think about it for many years. That story has held me back in my mind, oftentimes in my subconscious mind, for many, many years. And that every time that I was required to be visible and stand up and talk about how good I was, how brilliant I was, or how good I am at what I do, that old feeling of fear and shame and just awful feeling comes back. It came back for many, many times, and it really held me back. And I think we all have a story like that. We all have a story where, we felt a lot of fear, we felt a lot of shame, we felt like we're going to be excommunicated like this. People are judging us, people are criticizing us, they are, out to get us. They're thinking, who does she think she is? Who is she to stand up there and shine? How dare she? That's the kind of culture I come from. And that was just one story. There were many, many other stories earlier in my life where I learned that it wasn't okay to shine. It wasn't okay to stand up and talk about the fact that I am good at what I do. I have expertise in what I do. I am proud of what I do. So I think we learn that from a very, very early age. And I think the solution is we have to go back and we have to release those stories. We have to face them head on and we have to release them. And there is no shortcut, because otherwise what we're trying to do is it's like trying to drive a car with the brakes on. It's all this natural resistance in our body against showing up, against being criticized, against being judged, against trying to keep ourselves safe. And I hope I haven't completely jumbled up this story. It is a vulnerable share for me. So I feel like it's very, very it was a difficult story for me to share. And this story came back to me because, number one, I've had to work on it several times to just release the fear and the shame and to understand that I had a right to stand up and shine, that I had a right to talk about my brilliance. But just that fear of the people looking up at me in the audience and criticizing me and judging me has held me back for a very long time. And I had to overcome that. And I think we learn from a very, very young age, many of us, that it's not okay to shine. And that holds us back. That holds us back in being who we really are and accepting ourselves as who we really are. And it was brought home to me during the week when, at the moment, I have a 10-year-old, and he is really struggling to pick out an outfit for school in the morning. He won't wear the majority of his clothes because he said he's been bullied at school. People are obviously commenting on his clothes. They're not up to scratch in their mind, whatever up to scratch means. And he only has about 3 T-shirts that he wears, and it creates such anxiety for him. And I was here already at that age. He's already trying to fit in. He's already trying to, follow the rules. He's trying to fit in with his tribe so he won't be criticized, so he'll be accepted. And of course, we all remember our mothers saying, you don't want to be like the neighbors, but you do. You want to fit in. You don't want to stand out. It's a natural instinct within us to want to fit in, to be part of the tribe, to not be excommunicated from the tribe. Really and truly, it is. So I think it's really, really important to understand the significance of what we have been taught from a very young age. And I think you can use all the strategies in the world to turn up on social media, like the best templates, the best copywriters, the best formulas, copying other people, being safe, doing all the things, and relying on willpower and fear and desire to try and get you through. But if you don't address the root cause of what's holding you back, you're never truly going to be effective. You're never truly going to make a connection with people, a deep connection to the point where they know without a shadow of a doubt that you are the person that they need to work with. Because for that to happen, you need to get vulnerable. You need to get vulnerable like I did this morning. Share your stories, share your fears, share how you have come through those vulnerabilities. It's not about sharing everything vulnerable. It's about what helped you, what got you through, what gets your clients through, and sharing that. And that's difficult unless you do the work yourself first. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how am I going to do that? And that is what I want to share with you this morning. I am actually doing a workshop. I'm sharing it here now in the group. Hopefully it will share. I'm sharing it on StreamYard. Hopefully it will share into the group as well. So I am doing a 3-day workshop. It's a 3-day workshop. The work is going to be a little bit different to what I usually do. This is the work, a lot of the work that I do with my six-figure stylists. I am doing a 3-day workshop to help you to get visible, to start to address the root causes about why you're not turning up as your authentic self, why you're not making, a connection on social media, why you're not getting clients. And this workshop is going to be a little bit different. It's really for you if, I've listed who it's for down here and in the email that I sent out. If you're inconsistent on social media, but you don't know why, this workshop will be for you. If you write posts and then you delete them before you actually post them, this is for you. This is absolutely for you. If you feel your content is bland and it lacks originality, or you are copying other people, this workshop is for you. If you're keeping your content really safe, you're keeping everything really safe, you're just, you're talking at a surface level, you're not sharing at a level that's making a connection with your client and not building a relationship, this 3-day workshop for you. If you're posting the exact same thing as everyone else, which is what I see people doing, this workshop is for you. If you're copying people's content, it's not about copying people's content. It's about presenting the solution and the solution to the problem in your own unique way. And to do that, you need to be more vulnerable. And this workshop for you is if you are terrified your family, your friends, or your peers will start ignoring you, or due to the content you're putting out there on social media. I know this was a massive, massive fear for me. Now I'm just seeing some comments in here. Thank you, Lucy, for commenting. Thank you for sharing, Aileen, and being vulnerable. Absolutely relate to this. Being a parent and seeing our children go through this is heartbreaking. It brings things back for us too, absolutely. I know I have a fear of being humiliated after an experience at school. I agree these things are so important to see in ourselves. Last week, I shared a radio interview where I bumbled works and forgot things. I had to let go of being embarrassed and worrying about what people might think. It took something, but I did it anyway. Yeah. So that's the thing, Lucy. We are so unforgiving of ourselves, aren't we? We're so unforgiving of ourselves that we're not doing things perfectly, that we're not showing up perfectly, that people are going to judge us because of this. They're going to hold us accountable because of this. They're going to ostracate us because of this. But we need to go back to the fundamentals, Lucy. We need to go back to what started this terrible fear that we're not good enough as we are, that we're not good enough to shine, that we're not good enough to show up as we are. So truly, this work that I'm going to be doing in the workshop is something new. It's not going to be something that I've done before with the group, because I think we need to go back. And this workshop is not for everyone. If you're not willing to do the work, then I would say, it's not for you. If you don't want, more clients, more eyes on you to become comfortably visible, then the workshop is not for you. Really, it's not. But if you feel like, it's my time, I really, really want to make a difference in the world. I want to show up. I want to help in my unique way, in the only way I know how, and really in the only way I can, then this workshop is for you. I've put the link in there already. Hopefully it has shown up in the group. Let me just have a peek. That's why I came in to look and then of course forgot to look. So let me have a look and see. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I will put a link underneath the reader notes on the podcast as well. This workshop is going to be a little bit different in that I'm not running it in a Facebook group. A lot of the work that I'm going to be doing is kind of deep, and some of it might be personal. So I'm actually going to run it as an email workshop. And what I'll be doing is I'll be sending out an email each day, each of the 3 days, with a task for you to do. And then I will be doing a live at 4 p.m. CET on the 3 days, taking you through the task, taking you through an exercise to help you really start to release some of the fear and the pain and all of the things that are holding you back. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's only going to be available for a couple of days after I complete the workshop. And then the content is going to go into my success school. But right now, I want you to really think about, are you ready to step up? Are you ready to show up as you truly are? Maybe you don't even know if you are or not. Then I would urge you to consider this workshop. It's going to be something completely new. It is my six-figure stylist because I found that I was giving people the strategies, I was telling them how to do it, and it really wasn't working very well. Or it will work for a small period of time and then people would revert to their old ways. So if you don't want to be one of those people that keeps reverting to your old ways of not showing up or disappearing for long periods of time or just, putting bland old content out there, then this challenge is for you. So that's all I wanted to share with you this morning, really. Huge thank you to the people who've showed up live. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. Kruti is saying, I grew up in a small town away from my parents. I can totally resonate with your story, Aileen. Brilliant. That's why I shared it, really, is to help you really to see that, I am visible a lot now. I put myself out there a lot now, but I wasn't always that way. Truly, I was not always that way. It's not. And I had to do the work. I had to do the work to get visible. And I am willing to help you now to also get visible in a very real way, in a way that will help you to build connections with your clients, show them how you can help, and ultimately to get more clients, to get more business, and to get your clients the transformation that they want. So I am actually going to leave it there this morning. I have International Day at school right now that I have to attend. And I'm also away to Saint-Tropez for the weekend on a girls' weekend. Yay! So I'm totally looking forward to that. But get yourself into the 3-day workshop if you haven't already, and you feel that this is exactly what you need. And if you have any questions, pop them under this video. If you are watching this on replay, #replay. And drop me a message if you have any questions at all about it. And I forgot to tell you when it is. It's between the 6th and 8th of July. I'm going to be in Ireland, but it just works for me during those times because I only have one of my sons. I don't have two of them. Whereas for the rest of the summer, I'm going to have both of them. So I'm going to do it between the 6th and 8th of July, just simply because it works for me. So that's my share this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyone who took the time to watch this live or on replay, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend ahead. And I will catch you all again very, very soon. Bye.